Hey, how's it going? It's Grant
And Shelby K.
with the Garden of Eater, and today we're talking all about Sulawesi shrimp, or Sulawesi. I can't even remember now. I just listened to a video that just said it properly, but the guy had an accent, so I don't even know if that was right. Not a lot of videos on it. It is an island in Indonesia. There's a lake there where there's many different varieties of shrimp that all live in the same lake with one another, and they don't crossbreed or hybridize. They all, kind of maintain their own little colonies, colors, and patterns amongst themselves. We have four different varieties. We've bred five different varieties ourselves. Um, they are all wild types. There are a few morphs now, mainly just off of the Sulawesi cardinal venerely shrimp. They're like the ones that are most common in the hobby. There is an orange-eyed morph to those. It's not like a true orange eye. Maybe some of them are. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but there's also some blue morphs to the cardinal ones. So they call those the blue ghost cardinal shrimp. Those are pretty cool, but they can range upwards from $50 to $500 per shrimp, depending on where you get them from. So the problem with Sulawesi shrimp is they are not as hardy as the other shrimp. When it comes to Neocaridina and Caridina, they can take a wide range of different parameters and temperatures compared to the Sulawesi shrimp. So Sulawesi, they basically need 8 pH to 8.5 pH. You can deal with them in 7.5, but it's like that's a one point full point pH scale that you can go and range from. So 7.5 to 8.5. I find that they do really well right around 8, 8.2. And then the temperatures need to be above 80, right around 80 to 84 degrees. They can survive in like 75-degree temperatures, but they don't really thrive. They won't breed. We try to run a tank in basically room temperature parameters and our Florida tap water, and just the inconsistency was just too much for them. They need constant parameters. So we found that the larger the tank, the easier it is to do that with. They definitely thrive and do a lot better in a 55-gallon tank than they did even in a 20-gallon tank, and certainly did a lot better in there than they did the 5 and 10-gallon tank. So we were able to get buried ones in the 5-gallon tank, but not really a lot of babies. In the 10-gallon tanks, we're able to get a ton of babies. But of course, it's a lot easier, and you can like kind of go a little bit longer without doing water changes on the larger tanks. Where on the smaller tanks, we're definitely doing water changes a lot more frequently. This is fine. You can just zoom in on them, or just pull up this little icon. Shelby's just bringing up a little picture of what some of the varieties of the shrimp look like. We've got, like I mentioned, like 19 to 30 different varieties, probably, if not more. There's, a few that have been bred in the United States, but majority of them are not even in the States, and some of them are only brought in every so often. The problem is the wild is running out of these shrimp. There's not a lot of them left. And then when they catch them out of the wild, they go from one place to another. They might change locations 3 times before they get to you. And pretty much what happens is like 50% of them die every single time. So they have to catch thousands of them, and then the next person's left off with a few thousand, and then the next person's left off with a few hundred, and then the next person's left off with like 100 of them to sell. You buy 20 of them and you get 10, basically, that you're able to keep in your tank. And the die-off rate continues, not nearly as bad as the 50% during DOA, but they are pretty hard to get stable in an aquarium. But once you get them going and homebred and stuff like that, they do get a lot easier to work with. So I don't want to deter anyone away from keeping these shrimp, because There's like the care species for fish. These are like the care species for shrimp. They're really going to be, non-existent in the wild between population control from the wild. I'm sorry, the native population that is going in and trying to catch them and sell them for a profit, and then the habitat loss and the pollution and stuff like that. These shrimp are just not going to be around much longer. And I've heard like upwards to 80% of the population has already been wiped out, and that some of the varieties you might not even be able to get anymore. They're more popular over in Europe and in like Indonesia and Singapore and other Asian countries, and in the states, the travel and stuff like that. It's just it's too much for these shrimp. But there are several colonies and stuff like that of these higher end shrimp that are going in Europe and Asia. In the picture, you've got some. Can you bring up the picture for me just real quickly so I can see them better? That's the yellow cheeky up in the top left hand corner. Then the blue-legged posos. Not a lot going on to the blue-legged posos, or maybe that's just a molala. I don't see any blue legs. My eyesight's dying on me. So.
No, it's not your eyesight. It's the strength.
Okay, hold on. I still don't see any blue. So
that's the blue-legged poso.
All right. So that's a molala. We do have the molala shrimp. Something weird happened over the winter. Our rabbit snails went crazy and ate all of the vegetation, like all the moss. There was some booze, some java ferns that were lasting in the tank for quite some time. Threw in some orange rabbit snails, and they completely devoured the population of plants in there. And then at the same time, the molala shrimp just disappeared. Like they went from probably a few hundred in the aquarium down to like 20. So we are working on rebounding that population and trying to get that one going again. Then the next one, I believe, is a yellow nose. They've been around. I'm not 100% sure if that's what it is, but the one on the far right is, I thought it was the Denarily, but that's the Black Galaxy one. No? I think it is. No, it has the white legs on it. So that's the Denarily, the common cardinal. That's the one that's more common in the hobby that everybody sees. The one below that, that one. I'll tell the story about that a little bit later. But the one below the cardinal is the harlequin. Below that are the blue-legged posos. We have those on the website. Right next to those, I think, is the red orchids, followed by the white orchid, followed by, I can't remember. It's like a scarlet beauty or something like that, or celestial. I can't remember the name of that one. Or a banded or a tigress. I can't remember, and I don't know what the one above that one is, the final one. So there are some Sulawesi shrimp that just haven't made it over here, and I don't know what they are. And the red line, the red line shrimp is what Shelby just pulled up, and is the one that I don't know. And I mean that's just such a common, basic name. So the Caribbean Shirtada shrimp. So. They've got the little white gloves too. They seem like they would be quite popular, but they're probably not nearly as hardy as the cardinal ones. And you'd think that they're all just as hardy, being from the same lake and region and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, we've tried the harlequins twice now, and they just disappear without any dead bodies. We've had burieds and just not any luck. Where the white orchids, the cardinals, the blue-legged posos, the black galaxy, the molala, am I forgetting one? We've been able to breed those ones with great success. They're quite shy for most shrimp. A lot of shrimp are quite active, will swim around the water column even. Where these guys will like kind of hide up underneath a rock and really not move for quite some time. Our trick with that and getting around that is adding the Sulawesi snails into the tank. They kind of use them as like an alert system. If the snails are are walking around and their antennas are out and about, I think the shrimp know that it's safe. And like I'm definitely going to say that is 100% true because I've been talking about doing this for a while. But this week I moved some rabbit snails into our multifasciatus, the shell dwellers. tank, and they are like shriveled up. Like Shelby thought they were dead, that I should take them out of the tank, and I'm like, no. I lined them all up in a little line as like a little snail race. And after a few hours, they were all moved in a different location and walking around. And like, I don't know if they've grabbed some Lepidoptera or some uneaten food, and they're just eating it safely in their shell or what they're doing. But they're not very active. And to me, the shrimp know that as a sign. And because of that, they just hide, and they know that there's predators, there's fish about, and that they would get eaten. But if the snails are walking around freely, like there isn't any fish around, the alert system is free to go. The shrimp come out and they're a lot more active. And we have them all over the glass, all over the rocks. They come out onto the food piles, where they just don't do that if you don't have any of the snails in the tank with them. So I definitely think the snails are 100% a must-have in most Sulawesi tanks. The problem is, though, they devour plants. And I've heard stories where people are like, oh, they don't eat my plants, and you might be feeding them enough, or they just don't have the appetite for it because they're eating something better in the tank. But as soon as that food source runs out, they're going to eat them plants. They're going to go munch crunching, and all of your plants are going to just be gone. So
I wanted to share this one.
Go ahead.
Because
that one's beautiful.
it has a lot of the blue coloration. So this is an awesome site. I'll have to share this in the link below to show you guys who did all of this amazing work. But there is some of the blue variations that you can get in these shrimp. This is incredible. I've never seen this much work done. You don't hear about these people in the hobby. That's incredible.
Yeah, because it's all overseas, and the shrimp hobby has really gone down. I really hope that we get big enough that we join forces with somebody overseas, and we get in the loop on what's going on, and I find a transshipper to figure out a way to bring all these shrimp in one time. But I would need the warehouse set up, and I would dedicate an entire wall to Sulawesi shrimp, and they'd all be in 40-gallon breeder tanks. We had a 40-gallon breeder tank going of the cardinal shrimp at one time, and they did really well in there. Pretty much just the same as the 55-gallon tank, but I would do a whole wall with 100 40-gallon tanks, and do 2 tanks for every type of the Sulawesi shrimp that we can get our hands on. And that's definitely a dream of ours. But back to the snails. The rabbit snails are pretty cool though, because they don't get too invasive. They're they lay one live birth baby every month. They might tend to breed a little bit faster than that in higher temperatures. We do have some of our tanks cranked up to 83 degrees, and I think that they're producing a little bit more babies, or the babies, they're juveniles anyways, are able to produce a little bit sooner than I thought. So we definitely get more babies than I thought. And they're a little rambunctious. They like to climb, so you make sure you get a lid on the tank that's nice and watertight. Anything else? Any questions?
No, not yet.
All right. So, them being so difficult and hard to control the water temperature and the water parameters and stuff like that, how do we do it? Well, pretty much the best reputation heater in the game is cobalt. So we do have cobalt heaters for all of the aquariums. Thing about heaters is they can malfunction. That is why we don't use them in our neocaridina tanks. There's a lot of horror stories out there. A lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into their aquariums, get breeding just for one of their heaters to malfunction on them in an aquarium where they didn't need heaters. So these tanks, of course, they need heaters. There are thermostats out there that you can put a little probe in the tank, and it'll turn the heater on and off. That'll kind of prevent and have a double, like a backup basically, so you have a double layer protection, and you don't fry your shrimp or cook them. But that all adds up into money and stuff like that. But with the Sulawesi shrimp, it is definitely a must. They have to have that 80 degrees, just constant temperature. And if you keep them at that, even if the water parameters are a little bit off, they seem to do a lot better. They can probably do well in the Florida tap water. Just the double whammy with them being in room temperature on top of the Florida tap water, they didn't do very well for us. So maybe next time if I try to dial it into just one or the other, acclimate them, and then go for the next one, that might be a little bit easier on them. But like I mentioned, they're not the hardiest shrimp. And then with the salts that we use for the shrimp, we use the salty shrimp, the 8.5 variety. There is a 7.5 that seems to mix up the water and is a little bit clearer and easier to work with. But I find that it doesn't buffer and raise the pH high enough, and the shrimp just don't breed as well as they do in the 8 to 8.5 range. And you can throw as much crushed coral and limestone and other stuff into the tank as well to try and raise the pH. But that 7.5 just kind of like keeps it at a 7.5 rather than letting the rest of the rocks buffer it up. So I recommend the 8.5. When you mix it up, it turns to milk, and it stays like that for quite some time. If you read the instructions on the jar, it tells you to use CO2 to help you dissolve it and warmer temperatures and stuff like that. I don't use any CO2 for anything, and I ain't going to let some directions on the back of the jar tell me I have to use CO2 to mix up salt. So what we've found and done for many, many years now, I think we've been breeding for 8 years, and we followed the instructions on what somebody else was doing, where they were not using CO2 to inject it to mix up the salts either. So basically, you put it into a container and you mix it overnight. Put a little air pump in there, or we go full on and get a nice high powered like a 2400 gallon per hour pump that just blows the salt around and mixes it overnight. Like I said, it doesn't look like it mixes it all together. A lot of it just turns to milk. You'll get residue that sits on the bottom. It sits on the pump. Stir the pump around, get it moving again the next day. But what I find is, using the top of the water column and stuff like that, you mix it to around 190 TDS, and you add it to your aquariums, and that way the salt and everything like that might mix in a little bit more with the old aquarium water, and the tank looks like milk for like a day, but the next day or 2 days later, it'll all clear up. There might be a light dusting of mineral calcium deposit all over the rocks and sponge filters and stuff like that. But if there's enough rabbit snails or even Malaysian trumpet snails in the tank, snails in general, that powder is usually gone within another day or two. But your tanks will go back to being crystal clear. All the minerals are getting to the shrimp and the Sulawesi shrimp that are needed. The snails do great in it as well. And it is also buffering the pH to the proper levels and keeping everything where it's at. So it can be a little hectic. You can't see your shrimp, and it looks like you just gassed or smoked out all of your Sulawesi shrimp. But we've been doing it for years, and it works. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It says, hi there, are you planning on selling them? Looking for cardinal ones, the white socks.
So, like I said, I experimented on the cardinals, and then we moved the others from a 55-gallon aquarium into a 10-gallon aquarium, and the snails outbred the shrimp. So right now, on our website, tgoeshrimp.com, we have the Black Galaxy Sulawesi shrimp, which I think they look just as cool as the cardinal ones. They can range from like blue to purple to red, maroon, black, and coloration. And they have all the dots on them as well. And then we have the blue-legged poso shrimp, which are kind of dull, but they do have slight blue legs, more like the blue tail. They should have been called blue tail poso shrimp or something like that. It would have been a way better name for them. So It's very faint. It's not as good. Why don't you pull those up on the website while I continue to ramble on about Sulawesi shrimp and all their glory? Um, the salts can be a little hectic, but it is like the best way to go. And if you're mixing it with RO water, you're doing it to the same TDS every single time. We do 20 to 30% water changes around every 2 to 3 weeks on them. I used to say, hey, do a lot less water changes if you're not used to it. We were doing water changes on these guys once a year at one point, but they were in a 40-gallon tank. They didn't need it that much and that often. But in a 10-gallon aquarium where we're doing the water changes every at least once a month or every 3 weeks, we've got really good breeding in 3 of the aquariums. It's just a matter of time where we put the white orchids up on the website. Something going on?
Or like pictures lost quality going on here. I feel like because I sent them through Messenger to you. So I'm gonna have to retake those. Look how freaky the shrimp looks. Like his eyeball looks like a googly
Can
eyed.
people see this?
Yeah,
Okay.
googly eyed eyeball.
All right. Yeah.
it
So
looks like it's glued on.
I can send you better pictures of blue-legged posos, but like honestly, these are all wild type shrimp. There's no culling involved. They're all gonna look identical to one another. So if you just look up the blue-legged posos online on Google, they all look the same. Maybe somebody's colony out there has nicer blue legs than mine, but for what I've seen in the ones we have in the States, they don't have too much blue on them. But the black galaxies, those ones are really cool. And again, they look, I don't know, maybe the quality is just gone as soon as you zoom in. I don't know. But we've definitely posted them on our Facebook or Instagram, so they look a lot better than that. Yeah, we need to spend like a week maybe and update the website, but we're here talking about Sulawesi Shrimp with you, so it's the best we can do. We've got the white orchids, like I mentioned, they're almost probably going to be out there. I would like to try and set up another aquarium of the white orchids before we sell them, but who knows? Maybe I'll let them go before the warm weather disappears.
So Aaron said, I just logged on. Can you repeat why you can't see Sulawesi as much? I think mine hide more when they are buried. Do you agree?
Yeah, all shrimp will hide when they're buried. Whether it's Caridina, Neos, Sulawesi, it doesn't matter. All of them are going to want to protect what they got going on, so they just feel a lot more comfortable, a lot less stressed out when they go and hide. But it's just in their genetics. If you add snails to the tank, though, I do think they'll be more active. The rabbit snails are probably going to be a lot more beneficial than, like, say, the trumpet or ram's horn snails.
So the cool thing about all of the Sulawesi shrimp is that none of them have been able to interbreed yet.
Hold on. There has been rare occasions where people have kept multiple different kinds of Sulawesi shrimp together, and then weird oddballs have come out. But the thing is no one's been able to prove whether or not that was like an oddball mutation or whether it was a cross. But what most likely happens if they do cross, the offspring are never fertile. So they never are able to crossbreed and get another line going on.
Frank asked, for your 40-gallon warehouse Sulawesi setup, would you drip water change with a wastewater overflow to keep the chemistry stable?
No, because that wastewater overflow is never going to be the same. Depending on what your water treatment company is doing, that water is going to change from 1 month to another. So I would never trust that. And even in Florida, it might be hard, but it might be too hard. I don't know. It's a 5-to-1 ratio, so you're stacking 180 gallons on top of one another. I don't think that's going to be a very good outcome.
Aaron says, I hate snails. So there is a way around where you don't have to have snails to get them to come out more, would give them an extreme amount of coverage, which sounds,
I have
negative.
snails, not I hate snails. Oh, I'm sorry. Stand corrected.
And but to give them super coverage, and then not only that, they do not like light as much. So I would dim the light down quite a bit. But and then there's a couple different things Grant will probably talk about later that will definitely give you success with the Sulawesi tank.
Yeah, but like honestly, it's just a rabbit snail, and you can put like 2 or 3 of them in the aquarium, and they're not going to outbreed. And it's a $15 snail, so if you're in an aquatic club or something like that, and you get babies, they're not going to be that hard to get the population under control.
That's
And
a
if
rabbit
you want to
snail.
get them under control, you can go ahead and sell them. Oh, where's my picture? I got a picture I'll share with you guys because one of the rabbit snails that we put into the shell dweller tank, I just dropped the snails into the aquarium, and no, this wasn't even one of those. I was wrong. So this is just one of the old orange ones, and it probably just fell off the cliff, and then it fell. And look at it, like wrapped out of the shell, so that way it could get back onto the ground and then turn itself over. So I'd never seen that before. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's that really old one that we got.
Yeah, you can tell the snails that we got that might have been wild caught and imported compared to the ones that are born in the aquarium. So I am going to talk about that later on as well. But as far as like getting the shrimp to come out, if you're not going to have the snails, they're going to hide on you. It's one of those things that I highly recommend keeping them together. I got the hiccups. I'm sorry.
Right, so wastewater overflow, meaning just a high water bulkhead which goes to your floor drain.
Oh, so maybe I've thought about this. We just recently were at Richard's house. I see Richard in chat. I'm sorry. We sent out your salts today, and we only sent one of them out. We tried to find out a box or figure out a way to ship them out the 2 containers. He got the big boy containers of the salty shrimp, the 2,500 gram, 2.5 kilos, and they have a tendency to break. So we wrapped it up really well. I sent you a big old bag of snowflake. By the way, there was a request if anybody would like a large bag of snowflake, let me know. I can hook you up. But yeah, Richard, we sent out that one box today. Let me know how that does when you get it. You'll probably get it tomorrow, honestly, because you live in Florida. And then if that made it just fine, I'll send the other box in the other container. So, but Richard's house has a really nice drip and then waste overflow, but it's super efficient when it comes to Richard's time and everything like that, but it's not efficient when it comes to taking wastewater out of the tank. And when you add in that fresh, clean water, what happens is all the dirty water is super dense and it tends to stay at the bottom of the water column, where all the fresh, clean water is going to float around at the top. So if you have that waste overflow, the clean water just tends to go out. Of course, there is some overflow and water exchange happening, but I think I'd try to get them drained and something happening to where they pull water out of the bottom of the aquarium and the shrimp don't get sucked up and it's like a filter or something and I don't have to worry about it getting clogged. I don't know, like a pipe that I just turn down when I want to do the water changes. So it's something I still got time. We got like another year at least before we move. Any more questions? All right. So while we're on the topic of rabbit snails, I might as well bring it up. So when you get imported or really old rabbit snails, no problem with tonight's mic because it's just not where it's supposed to have been at all tonight. You probably heard me just fine tonight. Maybe a little problem here, Miss Shelby over here, but all right. Bear with us here this week. We've been doing all right. No one's complaining, anyways. So the old rabbit snails that are imported, I don't know if it's the poor water quality from the importer exporters or where it is, but they always have like these I don't know, melting spots on their shells or like wounds, or I don't know what goes on, but the shells are not perfect. And actually, there's like a couple of them where the shells will be like a totally different color, like an ivory almost. And then when you breed them, you get like a black and yellow striping. So there's definitely something in the wild that happens to the shells that they kind of keep when they're in your aquariums over time, but the babies will not have that same trait. Unless you have really bad water quality. Um, I've seen and noticed that the shell growth and size of the overall rabbit snails has gotten a lot bigger since we started feeding the mystery snail guardian calcium
Chips.
chips. Thank you.
Oh,
I didn't
they're
know
so
if they were tabs
They're
or
so cute. I'm gonna go
what,
grab
what they were going to. No, there's none left.
Not even just one pack.
Not just one
You
pack.
sure?
Yeah, no. Now I'm gonna get on Grant's case. Not this Grant. There's a Grant that sells Mystery Snail Guardian stuff. Not Mystery Snail Guardian stuff. What is it?
What? Empire Crayfish?
Empire
Crayfish
Crayfish.
Empire? No, Crayfish Empire.
There it is. But sells all these kind of shrimp and snail goodies, and those calcium chips have me sold. And I've been using them probably 2 to 3 times a week, and I've just noticed an overall growth in our rabbit snail population. And I thought, that should be one of the next products that we're going to carry on the website, especially since we're out of it. So we might as well bring them in for ourselves as well. I don't bring in anything to the website. We just made another order with the Sulawesi Minerals and Glass Garden and over in Germany, and they have products that we just don't use that I think people are asking us for, like Baker AE and other products, but I don't use Baker AE. It tends to do more harm than good, even though Glass Garden is a great company. It's just not one of the products that I want to back and sell and get behind and then have to explain to people, hey, I'm sorry, I gave you a product that was more deadly than you thought it was, and it killed off your shrimp. So everything else that we carry and sell, I fully stand behind, and the Crayfish Empire chips, as well as I think it's the Mystery Snail pellets. Mystery Snail Guardian pellets, the MSG pellets, because I made a joke. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So those are 2 products that I think we'll be carrying on the website because, of course, the shrimp also enjoy those pellets and the chips as well. And then, the shell growth and everything speaks for itself. So as soon as me and Grant can figure all that out, we'll be getting that on the website. But we're both really busy. If your name's Grant, you just got a lot going on. It's true. I only met one other Grant before. No, that's not true. There's another Grant at Aquashella, and he works at Aquashella. So do I. I've only ever seen him once. He's always there. Just shows you how busy we are.
And my parents are going to be breeding mystery snails soon, so they're going to need a lot of it too, like on deck, because they want every color you can imagine. I mean, they set up so many tanks so fast, and they're just waiting on us now.
Yeah, I think we were in Pennsylvania, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Petco and check it out." And then next thing we know, they got 5 aquariums in the house. And we're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Oh, we got Vibes jumping in.
Thank you so much, Vibes, for the $1.99 super chat. Says love y'all. I can't click anything; it's just not working. There we go. Love y'all. Any live bearers with Neocaridina?
So we have quite a few Endler tanks in the house, and some guppies, and the tiger tellies and the least killies fish. Those are all live bearers that have shrimp in them. The shrimp are breeding. I'm sure some of the baby shrimp end up as live bearer food, but those are all fish that the mouths are small enough. Our guppies aren't massive. There's some metallic purple guppies, or I can't remember what they are.
Metalhead snakeskin guppies.
All right, she knows what they are. They're not the largest of guppies. There's some like half black, half blue, guppies that are just monstrous in size. The females just can swallow up like a whole shrimp, it seems. The Gadeids are like little mini cichlids. They don't stand a chance to keep any shrimp in their tanks, but the rest of them do. I mean, there's shrimp in the koi pond outside, so if you get enough room and enough spaces, you could do anything.
Guppies are okay with shrimp as long as you have protection. Now, my volcano guppies are in a tank with yellow shrimp, and the only ones that survive are the big ones because they have absolutely no plants in their hide. Like, they have a sponge filter, so I expect them to be food for the volcano guppies. But like the other tanks that are successfully having shrimp in them is because they have plenty of moss and plants. I just don't have snail-free moss for that.
Is Crypt Keeper?
Yes, he's here.
All right, so Crypt Keeper.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm gonna need what I'm gonna need from you is a meme, and it's guppy grass, and it says always use protection.
And it's just a shrimp at the
I'm gonna need that tonight.
That's a good one.
No, I'm just kidding. You've got way too much going on, but you know it's a good meme. You're probably just gonna do it for fun. All right, back to the topic at hand. It's 36 minutes in. I thought it was only 26 minutes in, but we've got quite a few things still on the topic, and that is, what do I do once I mix the water? How do I heat it up? I've got a few different tricks so that way the temperature matches the tank going in. First one is obvious: buy a tank heater and just use it for mixing up your Sulawesi tank water. That one's a little bit expensive. And you all right? What's going on here, Shelby? You're throwing me mixed vibes during the live stream.
Pissed off at the boost. It's moved it.
It's just eating all the little. I might have thrown in a little bit extra food, and he's just eating all of it. He's going through and eating all the food. He's been doing that for quite some time. I've been watching him when we were setting it up. But oh man, now I totally spaced and forgot what. All right, mixing. The heaters, obviously, maybe not the most expensive choice, but the other one is if your house temperature is a little on the warmer side and you run your pump in the container overnight. Our CJ pump, if you dial back on the flow just a little bit, it warms up the pump because of all that back pressure, and that actually heats up the water warm enough that there is only one temperature degree difference between the 83 degree tank and the 82 degree water out of the tub, and that's close enough that I just send that right into the tank on a slow drip, of course, still, just like the Caridina and Neocaridina. I know the crushed coral, the substrate's a lot easier, to stay, and you can crank a higher flow in the tank, and it's not going to toss the substrate or do anything like that. But I still go really slow, just because it's like you're adding in a cloud into the tank, and it's all dusty and stuff like that. So I go slow, but that back pressure on the pump or the pump itself could potentially warm up the water. So, just using that can save you money if you already had that on hand. We also, can you go get the temperature gun? And you don't have to get it. Everybody has been through the big C word in the last 3 years. So everybody's walked into a store where they stuck one of those temperature guns to your forehead to check your temperature, whether it was the DMV or the courthouse or something like that. I don't want to get demonetized.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just kidding. I'm playing around more than anything. But the thermometer temperature guns, the laser pointer ones, that really helps us walk through, check the temperatures of the aquariums. You can check the temperatures of the trash can or bucket or whatever you use to mix your water, and you're not going to cross-contaminate. So we just use that real quick. And the final one is you can take a pot of boiling RO water, maybe not even boiling, but add it to your aquarium, or not aquarium, I'm sorry. Please don't add it directly to your aquarium. Add it to the bucket or trash can that you're mixing the water. Warm up the water. It's better to warm it up too hot than not enough, and then just let it cool down. If you have to cool it down in a hurry, a little RO water ice cube, because everybody should have those on hand in the freezer. Some RO water ice cubes, just in case power goes out and you live in Texas or some other place that's warm, like other than Canada or Alaska, Hey, and then you just keep that in the freezer, plop one of those into the trash can, and cool it off in time. But one of those three methods works for getting the water warmed up to add into the aquarium, because that RO water comes out of the tap water for us kind of cold.
Lakeisha Mills said, "What's the best Sulawesi shrimp type to start out with?"
All right, so there is a super easy Sulawesi shrimp, easier than all the rest that you wouldn't even think it's a Sulawesi shrimp, and that is the Malala. But they're also the ugliest. They got pretty much no color. There are some that are like a faint light blue, but most of them are ugly brown or gray. Not a lot going on. It's a $4 shrimp. That's why all the nice and pretty Sulawesi shrimp start off at like $15 to $25 and up. But the Malalas, they're easy. You can keep them like in room temperature and neocaridina parameters. You don't have to go all in. But if you're going all in, you don't want to get the Malalas. Basically, whatever you can get your hands on that is close and homebred. If you can find someone that's next door and they're breeding white orchids, that's the one for you to go and get. If you're getting them shipped, it's pretty much pick your choice. I think almost all of them are going to be a little bit harder than the Cardinals. The Cardinals have just been around a lot longer, and that's why, like, a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, the red cherries are a little bit easier," is because there's so many more lines out there that have just been around a lot longer. So overall, I do see Johnny from Dan's Fish up in here, and we have been eyeing your website, my friend. Not your website, but your place of work. You definitely have some Sulawesi that we want to get on the website. So I've just been waiting for a time when I'm home and not traveling and have the funds where I'm not trying to spend and expand and stuff like that. But we have empty tanks, and I'd like to fill those. So you'll be getting an order from us in the near future for sure. What were you going to say?
Read the comment?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Denarily have been super easy and prolific for us in the past as well, but I would say they're the easiest.
And then Lakeisha came back and said, "The ugly shrimp usually are the easiest, aren't they? Besides you guys, what's the best source for Sulawesi shrimp? Haven't seen them offered much lately."
My buddy that just left the comment, I would go to Dan's Fish. They're actually homebred in source. There's not a lot more home breeders of Sulawesi shrimp. A lot of imports, where somebody that's getting into the shrimp hobby will see the potential for money, and they basically do like one import and it goes horrible, and they don't actually try to do the work that Dan's Fish did to breed them out. So I would highly recommend checking out Dan's Fish.
And I said, "I really like the Starry Nights."
Are the Starry Nights the same as the Black Galaxy Sulawesi? I don't know what the Starry Night ones are. Are we gonna have to pull up Dan's Fish on the web on here? Is it happening? All right. Well, she's going over that. I broke my ankle like 2 years ago. Set up a rack I built a rack and then was about to set it up. Broke the ankle, and Shelby had to piece it all together and everything like that. So,
Getting distracted now.
Yeah,
This
Sulawesi
is worse. I know.
Vertebrates.
This is awful.
Boom.
Such a bad idea.
Shrimp. 11 varieties of shrimp. All right, they got the Cardinals. They got the Red Line.
Starry Night.
Oh, the Starry Night. Oh, they're definitely not the Black Galaxy. They're definitely different. They're like a Stardust kind of, but in Sulawesi form. So, oh man. But anyways, we only filled the tanks up with 4 different types. So we've got Shelby set up 7 of the tanks on that rack for Sulawesi shrimp. We only got 4 types of Sulawesi shrimp, so we still have 3 empty racks. I have put a bunch of Black Galaxy Sulawesi in one, so I know I have 2 empty tanks. How's it going, Garcia Aquatics? No problem, man. I hope that video helped. I'm sorry for being short and quick with you, but we were at our dad's house, and I I don't show enough gratitude and appreciation to them, and try to spend time with them when I can.
Coro said, "What flavor of ice cream will you name your next shrimp after?"
And I was thinking about that today, and there might be some lemon sherbets coming out because
Pistachio.
I don't like pistachio ice cream. Pistachio ice cream doesn't taste like pistachios. And you know what freaking happened today?
But you like pistachios.
No, I don't know if I can anymore.
Oh, Grant's leaving. He did pop in, by the way.
This is twice in a row.
Ew.
And that one was in the nut, not in the bag.
Yeah.
So there is a Peruvian larva that is coming after my pistachios.
Okay.
All right. And I've eaten hundreds of bags of pistachios, never found a larva. Now my last 2 bags I've had a larva. And I went from lightly salted to chili thinking, oh, those will be better sorted, they're flavored. Nowhere safe anymore. I don't know what to do, people. Send help in the form of clean pistachios, please. They gave me coupons and it's just not enough. I'm gonna have to go with a different company that better sources their pistachios.
Grant says he's going to hop off and make some more shrimp sticks, working on spirulina and the deep pollen ones tonight. 900 of them. Rewatch the live later.
Well, seems like a lot of work, man. You have fun with that. I don't know how you food makers do it. I'd much rather do water changes. What are you looking at now?
Carotina spinata. They didn't have them do well. Those would have been cool.
The yellow cheeky, eh? Yeah. We tried those once too, and they didn't do well for us. It was very similar to the harlequins. Did you get the harlequins? The harlequin is like one of the most sought out, and I think it's a lot because of the name. Every time a Joker movie comes out, they're gonna sell well. It's just what it is.
Like Keisha said, also it was a pleasure to finally meet you both at this Carolina Aquatic Expo in June. After all these years, I missed the last few lives, so definitely glad I made this one. Thank you for joining us, and it was great meeting you.
Listen, Kiki, you didn't meet me. You only talked to her. I see who you're here for. I understand, though. But, the only thing I even got to say to you was congratulations because you won the Kessel Light. And I was was it the Kessel Light? Or did you win something else? You won something else that I wanted. And I was like, at least she won. Right? There was this other guy that was just winning everything because he spent so much money. And that's no fun. What?
That's the person who won everything.
That was at the Keystone Clash, and I bought a moderate amount of raffle tickets. Those guys spent hundreds of dollars. They really try. I understand it's for charity. I ain't ragging on them, but I like to see the underdogs win. I find that exciting.
Mark's here as well, driving at the moment, but listening in.
Well, when the ice cream isn't that good, you're probably driving for better ice cream.
Here for Papa Clyde's. Johnny said our big Sulawesi order came in when it was negative 30 degrees outside in February. They all got too cold. The Harlequins didn't make it either. That's so sad.
Well, see, now you got to do another order this month so that way they come in all right, because August is going to be one of the hottest months on deck. So they probably have a better chance of arriving a little bit better condition. Better than dead.
Kiki said, I won the Kessel, the P&W custom kit, and a few other things. I tried to catch you, but you always had some customers. And said, congrats to you both on the awards. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude spent $400 on tickets. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was nice to meet you too, Night Owl.
Passing Wind said, Grant won the biggest prize. She's sitting to your right. Wait, is that your right?
No.
It is.
You got it right. No, this is my right.
It is your right. Oh, it is
your. You're good. You're good.
I need to go get some sleep. I was literally like staring at you, going, "Yeah, this is your." In medical terms, this is your right. Medical terms.
I don't think that's right either.
It is.
I don't
It is.
think-
It's backwards in medical terms. But anyways, get back to the topic.
That's confusing. I think that's why people lose the wrong arm. All right, back to the topic, she said. The topic, I think I pretty much covered everything off the top of my head. If there wasn't any notes or anything like that, I don't think there's anything more to talk about on Sulawesi Shrimp. I know there's another 10 minutes to go on, but
I mean,
so
I could talk about it.
they have around the same time of incubation period for the eggs, around 30 40 days. It is a rumor that they only hold around 6 eggs. They definitely hold way more than that. First time moms might only hold, around six eggs or so. But after they get going, they get a little size. It's easier to identify them because the females will have a V in the back, or sex them, not identify them. I'm sorry. I just can't talk at all today. You should be talking about these. They're your shrimp. Or I can tell the story if that's where we're leading up to. All right, so I get, a website of all these different shrimp that I want. And I'm just going through and I'm showing Shelby all the shrimp. And we get to the Cardinal Sulawesi shrimp and her eyes light up. And she goes, "Oh, those are cool." And the first thing that goes through my mind is that's the next shrimp that I'm going to be able to get, because if she wants them, I'm going to be able to find a spot in the house and set it all up and get these going. So that's basically like what happened. She was like, this is my favorite shrimp. These are the ones I want. So I sourced them from a breeder, Andrew Wayne, got them, set the tank up, basically ran that tank for like 4 years before we upgraded it. It was a 20-gallon tall tank. We set it up. Oh yeah, let's talk about the setup of the tanks. So the tanks, of course, cobalt filter, sponge filters, RO water, Sulawesi 8.5 mix, and then on top of that, we had the substrate. The substrate, we like to use a nice mix of argonite and crushed coral. And then a little trick from one of the European breeders told me that if we put crushed coral into the substrate, not crushed coral, lava rock into the crushed coral of the substrate, have some of it peeking out and make little rock piles and stuff like that, that the pores in the lava rock will colonize little microbes and microorganisms and stuff like that the shrimp will be able to eat and pick off of and graze off of, and the tank will be we'll have a lot more success setting up that way. So we've run that method, and we've had a lot of success with these shrimp. There's been people, and in fact, the person that we bought the shrimp off of had to buy shrimp back off of us because their colony crashed. And like we kept that colony going for like 8 years, where there hasn't been anybody stateside that kept the colony going for that long. So that method was tried and true. It's what we continue to set up. It really doesn't matter whether you use the white or the black argonite. We set up a couple of tanks on the black, and those shrimp that are breeding just fine. A little hard to see the black Galaxy Sulawesi shrimp on them, but it works and buffers the pH and stuff like that and holds it quite stable.
You don't do these justice, honestly.
What did I not do? Then
You
need to
make them
tell me
sound
story.
so complicated, honestly.
Oh, the shrimp. Okay.
Yeah, you really
I thought
do.
you had the story.
I mean, the tank setup is just so simple. I mean, just 50-50 argonite and crushed coral, and then throw in as much lava of the rock as you absolutely want to. Like, I remember you looking at me and going, "You sure you want to put that much?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. I want to put as much as I can in here." Like, when you actually watch a video of in nature,
at the time,
talk for longer than 30
at the
seconds.
time, though, I was worried about the red lava rock. I was unsure if that was safe. But continue. I'm sorry.
Rinse it enough, it's good. And just making sure it's got enough coverage, because out in the wild, I mean, they're under rocks. If you watch a collecting video, is them picking up rocks and scoop them with a net because they're all hidden under there. There's some cool websites we were kind of showing earlier.
They
that
vigorously shake the rocks, though. You forgot about that. You gotta put that part. Vigorously.
And I don't think you mentioned on how we did successful with our bigger tank and why it was so successful compared to everything else.
The limestone, right? The big aquascape of limestone.
But what we did to the limestone. Because the number one thing that Sulawesi shrimp, grow up in their area and a biotope you want to look at.
No, we make caves.
It's not just the caves.
Where are you going with this? I don't know.
Algae. They absolutely love to pick at that. It helps with the biofilm. It helps them feel at home. So you want to make and recreate their nature so much. And you could swear by it, but I'm telling you right now, we left the lights on for 24 hours with it, and the rocks start to get green. And you do want to keep the water changes going so that you don't get green water, but the rocks will start to get green and give that really nice texture for them to eat on.
You want the green diatom algae. You don't want hair algae. You don't want Cladophora. You don't want the icky blue-green or anything like that. You want the diatom algae that like grows on the side of the tanks and stuff like that. None of these tanks are properly cultured because they're fish tanks. So one day we'll get the good shrimp green growth up there.
Syra Aquatic said, "Good evening. Sorry for the unrelated question. With blue dreams and blue diamonds breed and not throw wilds?"
There is a possibility that they can still throw wilds. Right now it's like 8 out of the 10 people that I talked to don't have an issue, and then 2 out of the 10 people said that they got wilds. So it's definitely something that can happen. You have less chances. You can also keep blue dreams, blue diamonds with the Sulawesi shrimp in the same tank and stuff like that, and they'll do all right together too. Just bringing it back on topic.
Brandon said, "Is gardening lava rock shrimp safe? It shouldn't leach anything, right?"
Yeah, we went to Home Depot, and got our red lava rock bags. Poked a bunch of holes in the bottom of the bag, cut the top open, and just ran it under the hose and really soaked it to get all the little dust particles out, because those bags have been thrown around and then the crushed bags, the rocks rubbing together, it just makes a lot of dust, and you don't want that dust going into the aquarium. And it makes it look like red dye is being washed out of the bag for a while. So basically wash it until the water turns clear. And then keep washing until you see no more particulates coming out.
Eduardo said, "I heard you were in Southwest Florida and I didn't get a notice to come see Alps."
Listen, I thought I talked on stream while you were in here, asked if you were going. And then I talked with Richard, and I figured you were not going because you were not able to cop a ride with Richard. So I honestly thought you were excused properly. I was unaware that you didn't hear about this. I'm sorry. I thought I asked you while we were on a live stream one night if you were coming. I'm sorry. Next time, though.
Lady Diane says, "Having a rough time with brown duration in my new shrimp tank. Sigh."
With the brown diatoms? With what brown duration? What are you talking about, Lady Diane? I need more information.
Diatom.
Okay. Honestly, it's a good thing in shrimp tanks. I know you're not going to like the look of it growing on like Anubis and stuff like that, but for the most part, that's why we grow more moss in the aquariums than the Anubis and Boost and stuff. But the sides of the tanks, if they're all brown and stuff like that, it's fine. I just keep the front viewing panel clean so that way we can see the colony and stuff like that. But brown is honestly healthier than green. I know it's ugly, but it's one of those things like snails. If you can get over it, it's a good sign of a really healthy shrimp tank.
Eduardo said my diabetic ulcer stopped me, Grant. I knew, but wasn't able to come see you.
See, I really get... So, just minute of silence, not a minute, but like moment of silence for one of the greats. We lost an old timer in our club, and he had diabetes issues. Willie Styles, good old William. He was a really great guy. So I mean, he had diabetes, lost his leg. Seemed like he was getting his life together, trying to get it back on track, and he sadly passed away. So I feel like every time a dog walks up to me and sniffs me after this last uh, South Carolina show that was a diabetic service dog. Now I feel like I really got to get my act together and get healthy. So I had an issue with stomach ulcers, started fasting, and now that's under control. But I eat so much sugar, so much candy, and stuff like that, and it's been a little bit of a wake up. So a little moment for William, and I'll read some comments. All right. How's it going, Jeffrey Brown? Good evening. Hope you had a lovely birthday. Happy birthday, man. Let's see, I think there's no more comments. But basically, with the Sulawesi Shrimp, like Shelby mentioned, they're not that difficult. If you get homebred, a good source, you set up the aquarium right. I preach it just like I do with the Caradina shrimp. You've got to go through and set up the aquarium properly. You mix your minerals, the water properly. You add it back into the aquarium slowly after you remove the water, and everything should be just fine. So what do we got here? So thanks, I appreciate that. So I set up the 5-gallon bucket after you guys recommended, but was given 6 blue dreams on top of my 6 supposed blue diamonds. Should I transfer them to my 10-gallon indoors? I would risk it. It doesn't seem like you have that many shrimp invested or involved into the project, and if you do get some wilds, you've got that bucket to go back and call them out to. So I wouldn't worry about it. I'd throw it all in together. So I'm sorry. I don't think Crypt Keeper is making an appearance tonight. I do have another thing that I would like to do tonight. Can you give me one of the... Pick one. You choose. All right. So Shelby, of course, chose the Red Galaxy Pinto. This is a Sam Scales print. We're going to go ahead and give this away. If you want to pull up the giveaway tab and get a hashtag going. Can we start the hashtag now and it automatically pull it out of the chat?
I think with Fish Fam Link, yeah.
It does work like that. Mm-hmm. So let's do hashtag Scales. And we're going to give away another print from Mr. Sam Scales. Want to give him more recognition real quick. I'm not sure if one of the moderators can drop Sam's Fish Fam link to bring up his website and all of his social media links, his Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you go ahead and give those a follow. He is trying to get, I forget whether it was a sponsorship or recognized as a social media platform or something like that. So any of the follow-ups, likes, and comments that you can give him on his post is definitely going to help him out. But he gave us all of these shrimp prints to give away out on the channel, so I'd like to give a shout out. He came by, did a talk for our aquarium club. He's always so helpful at the aquarium shows and such a selfless guy. We go fishing and he wants you to catch the biggest fish, helps you out. If you're inexperienced like myself, my dip net skill might be level 99, but my fishing level is still probably only 10. So trying to use a rod and reel, I'm not the best at it, but after a few lessons from Sam Scales, I'm definitely probably better off than most. We put that to use down in Miami just a little bit. Probably didn't, make Sam as proud as I should have. Didn't catch as many peas as I wanted to, but it was a great trip overall. So It was a little sightseeing, not all fishing. So if it was Sam would have been all fishing. He's going to the Daytona Reptile Expo, and he's going to fly into Miami and then ride up with Mark so he can get some extra fishing in.
That's cool.
He's such a savage. That's all he does is sell prints and cast out. So, any more comments? Anything like that?
Mm-mm.
No. He also helped out Layla, gave her a few tips and tricks, and we use Sam's prints for Layla to kind of look at and use as a guide and try and figure out body shape and stuff like that. So definitely a nice print, the Galaxy print, and give that away. Also, it was Layla's birthday this week. We went to Casperson's Beach. I don't know if it's famous for shark teeth or Venice's favorite. It's kind of close to Venice, just a little further south. But I found a shark tooth in the first scoop, so it's got quite some. Several scoops didn't have any shark teeth in it at all. I think the one that had the most was 4 shark teeth in one scoop. But nice little beach. Kids had a blast. There's a little pizzeria that was close by, as well as a little ice cream place. You guys have definitely encouraged me to get out there and probably start doing my own little ice cream review YouTube channel. Won't be nothing crazy, but I think it'll be simple, just like Dave Portney's One Bite, Everybody Knows the Rules pizza reviews. I'll just walk out of the pizzeria, and I think what I'm going to do now, I put some more thought into it. We get a cone, 1 scoop of chocolate, 1 scoop of vanilla. I'm just going to ignore strawberry since I'm already that biased and against strawberry. We're just going to do chocolate, vanilla, and I test it out. If they have like a triple chocolate or something like that, maybe I'll go with one of those, and then I'll alter it that way. Like, what's the best chocolate option? You know what I mean? You ask the ice cream person that's serving which one. You go with that against the best vanilla, and then I give them the rating. Yeah? Yay, nay? Is that better than having 3 scoops of strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate? 1 scoop of each, I mean?
I mean, you're gonna want something different than just chocolate.
No, but then I give the chocolate to Jaden. I give the Layla. I mean, the chocolate to Layla. I give the vanilla to Jaden. They want a different flavor. We get that too. It's not going to go to waste. We're still going to eat it. We're still going to go back in and get the guava cheesecake if they actually have it. They might be advertising it, but doesn't mean they're actually going to have it.
Thank you, Kiki. She was spoiled that day. She definitely enjoyed her day. And Brian is in the house. Hello, Brian. Finally remembered to be here.
You heard I was wearing this shirt, so you're like, oh, I got to jump in there and say something about it. I do need more, though, man. We had an order in, and I'm going, if there's one more order of Aquachar, it's going to take away from my own personal stash that I've been holding back for myself. So I put some faith in you, Brian, right now that we're going to be getting some Aquachar soon. So you can hook us up. Be forever in your debt.
So, Shelby is so patient, and then it's Shelby, you look thrilled. Oh, I just don't see him wasting time. Like, he usually is very hungry to eat ice cream, and then he's going to get what he wants, not just chocolate or not just vanilla, and the kids don't want that either. So I don't understand. Like, we can review what we get from the ice cream place and then give them, a review.
It has to be the same across the board.
I don't care what everyone else does.
No, it has to be the same across the board.
I'm going to say, you try this if you like chocolate.
You can't
Let's
do
go to
chicken
the next
noodle
one.
soup reviews.
Go to the next one. We're not doing chicken noodle soup, though. Ice cream is boundless. It's
doing pho, and it's got chicken in it. So, that's chicken. No, you have to do all vanilla
that's so
or chocolate.
I wouldn't watch it.
Maybe I'll do
I'm
3
bored
scoops.
of vanilla after you've reviewed the third vanilla.
I'm just
Okay,
reviewing
cool.
the ice cream shop overall. It's going to be on the decor. It's going to be on the person that runs it. If it's crummy service, that point's off. Everybody
I'm
knows.
gonna just do mine next to yours and see that
Fine.
mine's gonna flourish because
Fine.
I'm telling you which ones to go eat.
I'd love to see it. That's fine. But there's too many flavors. You're putting your faith in the fact that you like guava or peach, and I'm over here. I hate peach.
I
What
don't
person
like
is this like in peach?
Not ice cream.
I'm
That's
just
disgusting.
saying. I'm just saying.
Richard said, Grant, I'll take you shark tooth collecting when you come back down. Prehistoric shark's teeth. That's what we could have found there. We have a friend that actually told me exactly where to go find them. But it was like 105 degrees and
Layla
very
almost
white
passed
sand.
out before we even got to the water. I was
It
like,
was too
Layla,
hot.
what is going on? Like, yeah, she's like, it's hot. I need to sit down. I'm like,
Coro said, is this international? If we go international, for sure he would do a review there. For sure.
oh yeah, I would. Everywhere we go for the ice cream reviews, I'm gonna just do a simple review. It's gonna be nice.
Brian says, hit him up tomorrow and I'll get you some.
If I can remember, I'll give you a call. I need to give Harley a call. I need to call quite a few people. I got a ton of shrimp I need to get out tomorrow.
Coro says he wants to provide rigorous empirical data. Brian goes, that's why you stick with your favorite flavor, cookies and cream.
Look,
See, my
it's
problem
up
is I
there
like chocolate,
for sure.
But you can't get the same chocolate everywhere.
But
There's
not everywhere
chocolate
has
fudge
cookies and cream.
chocolate. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
telling you. Everywhere though has chocolate
They didn't
and
have plain
vanilla
chocolate.
every time.
They had soft serve, but they didn't have homemade chocolate. Just
Where?
chocolate. At the Venice one we just went to. The chocolate they had was triple fudge.
I'm just saying, if that's their chocolate, then that's their chocolate. And if it's horrible, they're getting points off. That's on them for doing that to themselves.
They want ice cream now.
And Nano came in and gave me ice cream at the talk. Mm-hmm. Eduardo didn't even show up. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was delicious ice cream.
Matt said, hey, Grant, did you tell Shelby about the work you said you'd make her do for me? They're disqualified if they didn't have cookies and cream.
I forgot that I had to go to the doctors today. Got some bad info from the doctors, so like it totally threw my whole day out of whack today. So
Anna says strawberries better.
I'll figure that out.
Jaden will. Coffee ice cream. That last place did have coffee ice cream. They also had cannoli shakes. So like there's just too much. I just don't see him spending. He's gonna want what he wants, and then you want to go spend an extra $5 to go get a chocolate cone to review. You're gonna take one bite and waste it.
I'm just gonna get 3 small cones.
That's what that guy's doing with the pizza.
I'll get kid cones. Yeah, I'm sure 90% of the pizzas he finds the nearest homeless guy and is like, here, you want this pizza? Like that.
If only he was that nice.
No, he does that. It's been in several views. Oh. Like if a homeless guy is walking by in one of his pizza reviews, he's like, here, you want this pizza? Like, he's like, I've eaten 3 pizzas today. What am I going to do with this? I would love to go to ice cream store. Ice cream. The one place that Mark took us in Miami had an ice cream challenge. 16 scoops of ice cream and 16 toppings, and he had to eat it under 15 minutes. Yeah. And some guy did it in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And I'm thinking, okay, that's what he had for breakfast that day or something like that. An empty stomach, right? And then I'm also thinking, was he able to melt the ice cream like a little bit before he like dove in there? And he probably did like all marshmallows or something that was just really easy to just inhale. Or like cotton candy. Can we put cotton candy as the topping? And then just like kind of some water.
Dip cones. That's where it's at. I thought the place was actually. I'm not. Called Dip cones? What was that place called? Mark's probably.
Whip and Dip.
Whip and Dip.
Yeah.
Close. But then you have to go into the extreme where also that not every ice cream place is the same. So you have to do homemade ice cream channel. And then you would have to do gelato channels.
It's ice cream
and
overall.
Then, because it's not ice cream. And then custard is completely different. It's made differently. You can't just combine them.
Then it's a creamery channel.
I'm done.
Okay?
Done with you.
It's a creamery channel.
Inefficient. Wants to be efficient and test the same ice cream.
Then I don't do gelato. You got gelato, you fucked up. I ain't coming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just It's just
We're over an hour in. It's okay. It's okay.
brain freeze. Bo's ice cream. Tampa, Florida, Bo's. We'll have to find that when we go down to Tampa next.
All right, maybe.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna just hop on over to Australia, Mr. Whippies. But if we ever did get a chance to go to Australia, for sure, we'd have to have some ice cream, obviously.
Yeah, no, like one of the first priorities is when we get to a new place is where's the nearest ice cream. I can tell you where it was in North Carolina. I can tell you where it was in Chicago. I can tell you where it was everywhere.
Nathan, stick to shrimp.
No, listen, I am an
You
ice
gotta
cream
be
connoisseur,
efficient with it.
and yeah,
I can
it's
help
gonna be
you.
efficient. No, you're gonna see. We're gonna do the first one in like a week here. We just got done filming, and
Yeah, they're gonna stop watching the 3rd second after you get it all in your beard. You can't eat ice cream slow enough.
one bite, everybody knows the rule. The whole thing's gone. There's no mess.
You're right.
There's no mess. I inhale it too. I'll eat that in the morning.
Right. Convenience store ice cream reviews with Grant.
Listen, like COVID locks everything down again. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. But if I can get to one ice cream, there's like 2 of them about to open up in town. They don't know what they're ready for.
Tip Canoe. So Shady Grady said, "What a passionate subject. Forget the shrimp." It goes hand in hand, honestly.
Listen,
We should.
I can do anything as long as I have
ice cream. At this point, I'm gonna have to change it.
The worst though would be a
shrimp,
shrimp flavored ice cream. That would get negative reviews from me. Don't even try that.
You know what? There's probably some nasty place that has that.
You know what though? I heard Ryan brought ice cream to the Space Coast Aquarium Society. Like, are they trying to get me over there? Is that what they're trying to do? I heard, and I don't know if this can be confirmed, but there's supposed to be an ice cream party at the Keystone Clash.
Matt, we have not given giveaway, but I'm laughing at Kiki. Says, "You two sound like me and my fiance. We're always arguing over hypothetical situations. Yesterday it was about a Great Dane. We don't have a Great Dane."
Yesterday,
But you're
we
gonna get
also
one,
had
right?
a discussion about a Great Dane. There was a whopper, a massive one. We were on our way to drop off or pick up the kids. Can't remember which one, but this thing was a horse in front of this house. But it wasn't like skinny and didn't look like it was run down or anything like that. It was a thick Great Dane. It looked good. I was surprised. I hadn't seen one in person that looked that nice.
Says, "Any idea how many shrimp contests are there throughout the year?"
So, as many aquashellas, and then now they have added
3.
an international contest. So there's 2 aquashellas this year, and there's 1 at each. There are talks about people not wanting as many shows, and it's hard to enter that many into each one and stuff like that. So maybe there won't be as many next year. I don't know. But right now, there are 3 shows this year, 1 more to go. But there's many in other countries too, though.
Make a poll to see which flavor to try. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but like, what I think I'm gonna do is 1 chocolate, 1 vanilla, and then 1 scoop of my preferred flavor, and go from there.
Lefty said, "I heard nothing about an ice cream party."
Listen.
Well, now you have.
Listen. It's a cool kids only party. I will make sure you get the invite, though. Okay. I got you.
Eduardo said there's a good ice cream shop in York, Pennsylvania. Has amazing ice cream. Super great.
Well, if it's close enough when we go, I'll have to ask the Keystone Clash if you're going to be there. You know, maybe we can take a trip and go. But yeah, I'm always down for any good ice cream spots if it's local to the facility. I can't just drive 17 hours for ice cream.
Kiki said,
I want to.
"I will be disowned if I get a Great Dane, but I know a breeder in Gainesville, Florida. I've known her for years. She currently has 1 litter and with pups and expecting another soon." You know,
Yeah.
Grant would just, put it in the house and ask for forgiveness later. Because, usually this happens with everybody, though. They always say no, absolutely not. And then you get the dog or the animal in, and then all of a sudden their best friend, and it just works out. That's how you do it. That's how, like, so one time we had a cat get in the garage because I don't know how it got in, honestly. But Grant wakes me up while I'm sleeping and is furious at me and was like, when were you going to tell me? And I'm like, about what? What is going on? And he's like, you're not going to tell me what you have hidden? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, in the garage. Like, he is adamant that I know what is going on. And I'm like, absolutely not. He's like, get up. Get up right now. It makes me walk all the way to the garage to come in to find a kitten. And I'm like, oh, it's so cute.
It wasn't
and he's
a
like,
kitten.
yeah,
It was like
kitten.
it was a juvenile cat.
It's a small. Amanda ended up getting it. It was the same cat. But yeah, he really thought I snuck it in. I mean, I guess that's the way to do it because, you know, he'll be mad about it and then it'll just be there, you know? What are you going to do?
No, it was not coming in the house. Not after our cat ate our axolotls.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty bad. What are your thoughts on Dippin' Dots? He absolutely hates those.
I don't know why they remind me like I'm eating fish eggs. Like they make them with like helium or something. Honestly, it's like eating fish eggs that's going to give you diabetes. It's like a guaranteed direct shot to diabetes. So yeah, Dippin' Dots is a no-go. Those get a 1 rating for me.
Oh man. It's all a plot for Grant to eat 3 scoops of ice cream. He already does that.
Oh,
no problem.
Listen.
Wait, this ice cream shop we just went to, I asked for 1 scoop on a little sugar, or what is, waffle, wafer, cake cone. Goodness gracious, there's so many. At 1. And like 2 scoops later, I'm like, I said 1. And then the kids go get their ice cream, and I'm like, 2 scoops for the kids. 3 scoops later, like they were definitely adding on, like we do with our shrimp. So said it was the shrimp world of the ice cream.
Talking about adding on, if anybody out there is looking for moss, we have a plethora of peacock, spiky, and weeping moss. I'm selling entire tankful portions, so front to back, it doesn't cover top to bottom. The weeping moss grows like a nice 1 or 2 layer across the entire bottom of the floor of the aquariums. Peacock and spiky moss can range, anywhere from 2/3 or higher in the aquarium. But entire tanks for $100 shipped, or a half a tank for $60 shipped. You can do 2 portions for $100, 2 half portions for $100, and mix it up. But if you would like those, email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com.
Yeah. And they said that that ice cream place is an hour away from the Clash in the Amish country, but you'll blend it. And Kiki is out of forgiveness for picking up a 30-gallon tank of free fish. Oh yeah, you got to space that out a little bit. So get the second litter.
And I don't fit in Amish country. They all look at me like I'm one of them that left, and I've accepted the other tradition.
They do.
I was getting horrible looks walking through. When we went to the Lancaster Aquarium Society, I realized how they got me as one of them playing for the other side. I did not fit in. I was shunned.
I don't even know how to pronounce that. Have you ever had, I think that's grape nut ice cream? Grape nut?
No, I haven't.
That sounds weird. I'm going to have to Google that. Can you Google that?
No.
Lady Diane said cool more months. What do you think about mint and chocolate chip and vanilla and boysenberries for ice cream? Never tried boysenberry, but
yeah,
mint and chocolate chip are always a good solid.
I used to eat a half a carton of mint chocolate chip as a kid. At one point, it was my go-to ice cream choice.
Uh-oh. Eduardo said he pick up a few gallons of your favorite flavors. Me and Layla are big chocolate. We probably won't be bringing the kids. Ooh, yay! Tangerine Tigers has berries. Yay! They're still one of my favorite shrimp. I can't get over Tangerine Tigers. Like, I will go up to catch shrimp, and it kind of hurts to send out shrimp out of my tanks all the time. But tangerine tigers are just so beautiful.
I think it's just nuts, grape nuts in ice cream.
What's
Never
a
had it
grape nut,
before.
though?
So like you didn't know grapes have nuts inside them? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm sure it's like from the grapewood tree and it's a nut. I have no idea.
It looks good. You know what? I think I've had this, honestly. And I thought it was just like the same, like peanuts you get on top of
I'd eat it.
a sundae. So yeah, you would. It's
But-
vanilla based with barley. It's kind of like a pistachio almost, but not green. So you'd probably like that then.
Yeah, I don't know why pistachio muffins or pistachio ice cream just tastes like the rotten pistachios, but it's not like the same flavor.
I think we're just getting so off topic here. The granola style brand cereal. Is there an ice cream of that now? Oh man, there's just too many ice creams. What you could do is go to like Publix and choose a section of a freezer. Because like usually they kind of set it the same at every Publix, and choose that section, review all the ice creams in that.
We need a deep freezer.
You know, like a house freezer, like
A walk-in.
the big walk-ins in
No.
the horror films
just-
with like the meat freezer.
We just wait for the Asian market to go out of business, and we buy the one that they attach onto the pickled parrot, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
just
that thing's
attach it to the
huge.
back of the house.
That's not going to go out of business.
Yeah, it's not. It's great, and they own the hot pot. It better not go out of business. Any questions about shrimp or
Oh,
Sulawesi or anything about that? I'd be more than happy to answer that too and not talk about ice cream, but ice cream seems to be a hot topic.
So grape nuts are the brand of cereal. So, okay. That's weird. I didn't even know that's a cereal, though. I feel like so sheltered here. Like, what is the world? We've moved on to ice cream questions. Oh, man.
Well, another 5
Ooh.
minutes, and we're gonna have to give away that Sam Scales print.
Oatmeal cream pie ice cream? What?
Oh, so yeah, the little Debbie's there. They have like all of their things have like an ice cream flavor to them.
And you haven't got
All
it
right,
for us?
no.
That's
So check it out. I
disgraceful.
haven't seen it.
Oh.
All right, in person. I don't know if it's actually legit or if it's just like a legend. Okay.
You gotta let us know, Mike.
He said he had it a couple weeks ago, and
Oh.
Mike's a real person.
Keep thinking
so
about it. Yes. Well,
I
I would
believe
hope
you.
so. I don't think
believe
there's
it's
any
something
bots
out there.
anywhere.
All
If
right?
there was bots, we'd have like 200 plus people watching us.
I'm just saying, like, I know Mike's legit. Okay, he's not just BSing just to say, "Oh yeah, I had
That does
that."
sound good. Kiki said you should try pistachio pudding. I used to love it as a kid. If you're ever in Pensacola, Florida, you should try some froyo from Wild Honey. Oh, so we went to Wild Honey, but that was a breakfast place. So
Did
there
we?
must be a froyo place. Yeah, it's called Wild Honey. Oh no, it's Wild Berry.
Yeah.
Wild Berry.
I've never heard of Wild Honey.
Ugh. Is custard also good or no? Custard is awesome.
Yeah, I think custard is just ice cream with a little extra egg.
I enjoy custard. It's not as upsetting to my stomach. Like I can eat custard, but some ice cream makes me really sick. I don't know if it's the milk.
We had custard last night, even though there was a stream on Chattanooga Ed where they're like, people are like, "Oh, Shelby doesn't know what custard is." I'm like, Shelby knows what custard is. We had it tonight for dessert. Like, yeah, she knows.
You should start breeding your own custom line of shrimp. What ice cream flavors would you breed them to look like?
Listen, Mark right now is in the car screaming, going, "That's my idea! I gave him that! If he takes credit for that, he probably slammed the brakes on the car and pulled over on the side of the road right now to like call me. Like, that's my idea. You did not give him credit for that." It is so hard when you have like a yellow shrimp and you're like, what am I gonna call this? That's like an ice cream flavor. That's not an ice or a sherbet or something. It's very hard. Not all of them have good ice cream names. I'm finding that out the hard way.
Oh, it's at Walmart. That's a big reason why we don't know about it. We avoid Walmart as much as we can, but we do have to go school shopping. So that is the number one place. So.
School and ice cream shopping
sounds
doesn't
great.
sound that bad.
Yeah.
If we get the ice cream first, then we have to rush through the school shopping before it
Stop.
melts.
You're terrible.
And it'll
He
be
would
over
do
before
something
we
like
know
that for sure, and I'd have to go back. And I once peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter ice cream. We have the best at
The
Papa
best.
Clouds. It's
Hands down,
peanut butter fudge.
9.6 rating. You're not going to find a higher rating out there from me yet. All right?
I can't get over it. We bought
It
the
is
whole
the
tub, so-
best. For $36, you can buy 2.5 gallons of the best peanut butter fudge chocolate ice cream. It is.
Someone's keeping us in chat tonight. Tips in check, sorry, is what I meant to say. Tips for taking stock photos of plants, fish, and shrimp.
I don't know why you're asking us. Our website pictures are trash. No, I'm just kidding.
They are.
They are, but if you've seen some of the pictures on Facebook, we both can obviously take a good photo if we try a little hard. So the tips, the tricks. Wait till nighttime. The sun's got to be completely down. Otherwise, you're going to get glow from all of the windows and stuff like that. Whatever tank you're photographing, turn off all the other lights in the entire house. If you can add an extra light on top of the tank, make sure that none of that light is reflecting back towards the camera. You want to make sure it's in the tank, and then you want to be parallel and like right on as close to the shrimp as you can.
No angle, or you're going to have some sort of warping of the tank. So it's not going to be clear at all.
These tanks are not the best. They're made with up to 10% iron. That's why when you look at through the sides of the glass, they have that little greenish tint coloration to them. You can get a Starfire or a better, higher quality rimless glass tank that isn't going to be made out of iron. They're not as hardy. They're not hardy, as strong as if you were to drop a rock or something on them, but the quality of pictures is like 8 to 10% better because they don't have that iron that you're taking your picture through. Also, the temperate of the fish and the shrimp can be a little different. So taking pictures from afar rather than up close with a special lens and stuff like that can help. But I find with shrimp, the best pictures are always when you're right up on the glass. And if the shrimp isn't like perfectly sideways, a good flick at the glass kind of gets them to move and jump straight. Also, if they're running and you can't get them to slow down, I'll do the same thing. And they'll sometimes they'll stop. Every now and then they'll pull like a 90-degree turn and it ruins it. But it's a better chance than them running off into the moss and losing that shot forever. So.
In fish, you want to do a smaller container. You don't want have to try to chase them in a big 10-gallon. It's just not going to work. So really tiny little containers is like about the size of the fish. Try to make sure there's a lid on it. White backgrounds seem to work pretty good. Some people have used black. It does do the coloring a little bit wash to me, but
always do water changes on the tank before you photograph it. It's going to make the clarity a lot better. And then that's going to be it.
Steven lost me at birthday cake scoop.
No.
Oh, yeah. Can't eat that. That's too sweet. Depends on where it's made. I mean, we've had some. Papa Clyde's makes a good birthday cake one, but I can't eat a whole.
All the other
cake
flavors
scoop.
were good though.
Yeah.
Birthday cake though. Thought you were old enough that flavor is gone from your taste bud. That's what happened to me.
Maybe it was for a little bit. Then he had kids, and then took a bite and was like, "Oh, it's good." Misa said, "Would you try Sulawesi in well water, 8.4 pH, 20 GH, 14 kH, but has nitrates out of the tap?"
No, I would not use that. Maybe if you put it into a aquarium that you could filter out the nitrates before you put it in, but The nitrates are going to be bad for the shrimp and can possibly burn the gills of the shrimp. The 8.4 pH is good, but if you put gas to that, does that drop? So basically, take one of your tap water or well water from the tap and put it in a container and drop an air stone and check the pH the next day. And check the pH in the morning and then check the pH at night and see if there's any big change there. But it's probably going to change, and that's not going to be good for the shrimp.
Spaghetti Nona says, "What's your favorite hot pot ingredients?"
So, why can I not think of anything? What did we just put in our pho today? Sprouts, for sure. Obviously, ramen, little corn, and dumplings.
Yep. Dumplings.
When we go to hot pot or Korean barbecue, I'm all about the meat. I'll eat at least like $30 worth of steak. About that life.
Lefty has ice cream in the freezer. It reminded him.
We got mango ice cream in the freezer. It's pretty good. Ryers. Mango ice
French
cream.
vanilla, rocky road, peanut butter, chocolate, cookie dough, scoop. There it is.
And the flavor is on, but like the texture is off. It's like too light and fluffy. I feel like I'm getting robbed when I buy ice cream like that. Like they're selling me more air, like it's a Lay's potato bag chip. That's why I like Papa Clyde's. It's thick. They're not selling me no air. It is pound for pound the most ice cream you're gonna get.
We've not done the giveaway. We're changing our mind on that.
Go for the giveaway.
You want to do
Send it.
Okay.
Send it. Last chance. Do a little refresher.
Yeah.
Hashtag scales.
Mark said he was diving for Sulawesi Shrimp.
Lefty gave me this great idea that I should name all of my new strains of shrimp after ice cream. And I was like, Lefty, that's like the best idea I've ever heard.
One more minute here. Answer Lefty's hashtag scales for the giveaway while you're answering Lefty's question. Then we will draw. Lefty said, "Your shirt just reminded me. What stuff does Aquachar pull out? Because in Daniken's last night, someone said that they had a lead spike in their tap water and are worried about their tanks."
I don't know if Aquachar would pull out lead, but it would certainly pull out things that carbon would. So if activated carbon pulls out lead, it would also do it. But like I use the Aquachar for like poisonous materials like flea meds, or if you use too much perfume or Febreze, or had something weird on your hands and you decided to grab something out of the tank real quick and didn't realize it. But bug bombing, anything like that can get into your tank and kill off your shrimp, but throwing some Aquachar into the aquarium will remove those impurities quite quickly. Lead is a hard metal, and I'd like to say that the Aquachar doesn't take out things like iron. It could definitely remove like a little bit of fertilizer content, I think, like the nitrates and nitrates.
Even Lady Diane said, "I don't think anything pulls lead."
Yeah.
Except maybe a magnet. Could you imagine? You could see trace elements of lead, and I think a magnet would help, but it would probably like have to be big enough for it to pull it. I don't know. All right, let's pull this. Share screen. Fish Fam link giveaway. I'm gonna refresh the page. We got 56 entries, and let's spin. Guppy Bees! Congratulations! You're still here. We can get a hold of you though. That one's an easy one.
Yeah, we can definitely hand that to you in person also. It doesn't have to be shipped out, but you got to be here. You can't just come in.
Lead isn't magnetic.
It isn't, right?
Yeah, no,
it isn't.
That's
what I thought.
You were trying to Google that?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Let's see. Are you here, Guppy Beast? should have that little like.
You gotta have a 10-second timer. You don't tag in within 10 seconds. We're moving on, but no, it ain't that serious. We'll give them a few minutes.
Brandon says, "Do you have a medication regimen for quarantine shrimp as a precautionary measure?"
I don't, because whenever we buy new shrimp, they automatically go into their own tank. I don't like buy shrimp to add new blood into a new colony. If I did, my regimen would be I buy new shrimp, I breed them out, and then whatever I get going on my own homebred colony, I would then use to like crossbreed or add into different colonies. But I would never add in somebody's shrimp into a colony that I already have going on. There is actually a product that I thought about bringing into the website. We don't really use it, but I think if I had it, I would probably use it for when I buy new shrimp. So it definitely has its purpose in the hobby. It's beta-glucan from Glass Garden, and it basically just boosts the immune system. There are other things like if your shrimp are showing parasite or something like that, Seachem product Paragard is what the importers were recommending that we were using when we were helping them out years ago. But other than that, I don't really have anything other than maintain, keep a close eye on the shrimp, do regular water changes, and make sure that the tank parameters are as pristine as possible.
All right. Copy piece is not there, so we are going to redraw.
Has it even been 2 minutes? You sure?
Yeah, you've definitely been talking for 2 minutes. That's way too long. We're going to spin again. Spin, spin,
All right.
spin. Spaghetti Nona! Congratulations! I think you just typed in chat. Oh, she might have left though. Hope not. Oh no. Oh.
Did she make it?
She's
Or
gotta
did
still
she
be
leave?
here. 1 minute. She
The
definitely
suspense
stayed.
is killing me now.
Oh no.
Nobody tell her if she logged out.
No, she was here the whole time.
Oh man.
Oh no.
You got to bring up the comment right now that says,
man.
"See you guys. Have a good night."
Literally right before.
Oh man.
Oh no. Still here, right? Where is it? She's gotta be here. She's here. Got it. There you are. Okay, it took us a minute to find it. You did it. Okay. Just email us at thegardenofeater@gmail. I think we do have an email. Just email us again because it's a mess right now. So.
Make it a little bit easier on us.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Congratulations, by the way. And I think we're going to end it on that tonight.
What did Mark say?
He was just talking about the copyrights to that idea already and his ingredients, which was like 500 ingredients for hot pot.
Oh.
So.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good night. And if anybody has any ideas, leave a comment down below, and you could win a Sam Scales print if we use your topic idea in one of the future streams. Also, check out the website and look out for any great deals. We do have a couple shrimp marked down, including $2 tank tie, and that sale is not going to last. We only have a few of those left. So have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching.